Hello there. So we'll get started, I think. So I'm just getting used to this technology myself. So I'm just get this straight in terms of how we're going to do this. So I'm just going to basically what we're going to do today is just talk you through these slides just to show you how I've been helping mortgage brokers and financial service firms generate high value appointments consistently and reliably. So this is the strategy that I use in my own business to generate my own leads and appointments and deals. And the idea is just to take not a reactive approach, avoid the reactiveness of lead generation, which is generally prevalent in financial services, and go for more of a proactive approach and specifically target the right people, the big deals, because they are out there waiting for specialized advisors to help them with their unique situations. So yeah, I'm just going to talk you through the strategy that, like I say, this has helped me. This is the exact same strategy I use to generate my business, and I've helped countless other firms and advisors through this with great success. So I'm just going to talk you through how we do it. It's like kind of a 4-step process to it. So here, if we can see the slides here, this is just a bit about me. So who am I then? So my name is Dan. I've been helping, like I said, mortgage brokers generally, IFAs and protection brokers for the past like 5 years plus now, specifically just nailing that specific niche, which is obviously something that later, well, this is the first step of the process as to what I teach you guys is to focus on one specific market, which is what I've done. Because I used to do all sorts. I used to deal with any kind of business, really, anybody that paid me money. But it led to me just being really scattered and not really moving forward, if that makes sense. So other than that, personal wise, I've got 2 young kids who I see quite regularly. Me and the missus are split up, but we're in good communications, and I see them quite regularly, and I like to get out and travel and eat good food and drink good wine. So yeah, that's just a bit about me. So the 4-step process, then, what you learn today, like I said, it's a 4-step process. The first step of the process is what I've already kind of alluded to in terms of defining exactly who it is that you're going after. That is the foundational piece, I think. And it's got to tick the boxes, which we'll go into in a minute. And then we'll show you how to actually find these people and how to connect with these people, because that is half the battle. It's okay knowing that you want to go for the big stuff, but it's finding the big stuff, which is obviously the problem, which is why there's people like me in the world to help you with that. And I'll show you some real life case studies as well of people who have actioned this and have had really good success through it and got some good results. So I'll show you their real life case studies. And at the end, there is an offer as well to get a free trial on this offer, where you get a content. We're doing like a content challenge next week as well. So I'll tell you more about that at the end. Okay, so like I said, the first part of the process is defining who it is that you're going after. There's so many, probably 95% of brokers are just going after the same market, which is just anyone and everyone. But in reality, when you're targeting everyone and in reality, you're not targeting anyone, if that makes sense, because you're too scattered. Your messages are too broad. It's just not resonating with anyone specifically. So the key is to really, because marketing is all psychological. It's all about getting in the head specifically of your ideal client, but you can only really do that when you know who it is. So the first part of the process is to define exactly who it is that we're going after. There's a few tick boxes. One is that it needs to be profitable at the end of the day, because I speak to brokers day in, day out, and most of them are, like I said before, like employing a reactive approach where they're just taking on whatever comes their way from referrals or buying leads in. But for me, that just leads to a lack of control over, one, the customer types, and two, the customer values. And you just have to take it on, and you think, yeah, it's business, I'll take it on. But the point is with this is we're taking a different approach there and saying no to the stuff that is not worth your time, because your time is the most valuable commodity that we've all got. So it's about just kind of putting out a message that resonates with the right people and to attract the right people in terms of the affluence and the deal sizes, because at the end of the day, we're all in business to make money. So we want to be going for the clients or the prospects that are going for the bigger mortgages in this use case. Because you can be doing it takes you guys the same amount of time and effort to generate a client that's worth £1,000 to one that's worth £5,000. So we might as well be going for those £5,000 clients. And it's the same energy and effort to generate a lead that's worth £1,000 to one that's worth £5,000. And yeah, it just leads to a more scalable and more profitable business because you're working less but earning more, which is the whole goal of business for me. So yeah, that's just a little bit more about the defining the niche. So rather than going for the mass market, we're segmenting a specific niche or even a sub niche, getting really specific as to who your customer profile is. So again, it just leads to specify. You become a specialist, so you can really provide more value in the marketplace for your service because you are a specialist. It's like the old analogy between a GP who earns a certain amount. I'm not sure what it is, but they get a decent amount. But then compare that to a brain surgeon who specializes in that one specific thing. He earns a lot more because he's a specialist. So it's the same when you're specifying on a specific market, like some people do, say, tech entrepreneurs, for example. You know exactly where to go, which lenders to go to get them over the line, to get them what they need. So it makes you a specialist, and the upshot of that is it makes your life easier, and you're providing a better service, a more valuable service, because you are more efficient, and you're getting people to where they need to be quicker and more efficiently, and that creates more value. Which obviously, when you create more value, you can charge more for that. So we are very AI forward with our program. We use AI throughout. So it's not kind of, in terms of this process, because this, what we're talking about now, in terms of defining your ideal client, that is often the most difficult thing. I've been doing this for years with firms and advisors, and yeah, people do procrastinate over that a lot. But now it's not just us doing it together; it's us and AI doing it together. So we use ChatGPT. We've got some really heavily engineered prompts to help you define initially your ideal client. Like I say, we use it throughout, but for this first kind of use case, we're leaning into ChatGPT with these heavily engineered prompts. These are just examples here. I'll show you in a minute the actual prompts that we use. But yeah, we're heavily leaning into AI to get us to where we need to be. So once we've defined the market, then the next part of the process is to do market research, market analysis, just dig into the psychology and the pain points of that market, which again, we use AI to do that. Again, like I said before, I've been doing this for years, and we used to get firms and advisors to go out and put surveys out, speak to people, ask questions on calls and things. It took a long time to build up that picture that we call it an avatar marketing as to who that is, in terms of the psychology and what's going on in their head, what problems that specific customer profile is facing. But now we've got AI, we can it's just there in really 3 seconds. It's a beautiful time to be doing business because we've got all these tools to leverage. So this is just a case study of Joel. So Joel did really well on his first month before he started working with this. It's called HNW Deals. And by the way, you can get a free trial by scanning the QR code in the top left of this. If you're seeing this, it's on HNWdeals.com. You can get access to it. But yeah, he was earning $2,500 before he worked with us, and then in his first month, it went from $2,500 to $10,000. Literally in his first month of working with us. His market was pilots, and there is a video here. Let me just see if I can play it. I'm not familiar. I've only used this a couple of times. Let me share my screen. So this is my YouTube channel, so you can come on here, and there's loads of videos I've got with testimonials and such valuable videos that I'm sure you'll get some value from. But yeah, Joel's is on there somewhere, but I can't find it at the minute. So if you want to have a look on there, I'm sure it's in there somewhere, but yeah, I'll link it below the video anyway. Let me just stop that showing. So that's Joel anyway. Like I said, it's HNW. What's HNW FS Deals on YouTube if you search that. So the first part of the process in terms of number one is defining the customer profile, doing the market research, and then creating an offer. So again, we use ChatGPT to create the offer, which is all just a succinct way of articulating what you're doing for that one specific customer profile. So once we've done that, we then go to the next part of the process, which is number two, which is connecting with these people. And the way that we connect is through LinkedIn. So we focus purely on LinkedIn for a number of reasons. One is the right people are on there in terms of what we talked about, in terms of the affluence. I heard a stat the other day, it said 48% of people on LinkedIn earn over 50K a year. So the money is there. They're going for bigger mortgages. There's people like entrepreneurs, business owners, like just high earners, really. And that's a complete contrast because it can be overwhelming. I think there's so many different platforms and things out there these days. There's places like TikTok, for example, which is completely opposite end of the scale, where it's a younger demographic. So the earning power of the members or the users on TikTok is a lot lower than LinkedIn. So we focus on LinkedIn for that reason. That's one of the reasons. I could do a full video on the reasons why we use LinkedIn, but that's one of the reasons. Another reason, it's more of a dealsy kind of mindset on there. It's a businessy mindset. It's people are open to doing deals and things on LinkedIn compared to other platforms. So yeah, LinkedIn is the place to go. And obviously, like I said, this program is called HNW Deals. We're going for high net worth stuff, and 83% of high net worth individuals actually use LinkedIn. So I'll just make that a little bit bigger so you can see it. And so once we've kind of, like I said, gone through that process, what we're doing is optimizing your profile. So we're doing this for your personal profile rather than through a business profile, and we're turning that into a landing page effectively. So it's not a traditional LinkedIn profile. It's more, like I say, it's more about them than about you. because we've already dug into that. We know the psychology of the market. We've created an offer around the specific pain points of that market. We're kind of articulating that on your LinkedIn profile and turning that into a landing page and showing that you understand that customer profile and their specifics, which just makes it really appealable and gets their attention. Because initially, what we're going to do is send a load of connection requests to these people. And if it's just talking about you, chances are that they're not going to connect. But if it's talking about them and they see that and it resonates with them, we should hope that a good percentage of them, we should hope that 30% of them do accept. So there's things like your headline in there that will optimize, your summary section in there, like social proof and having professional imagery, just sharpen it up and optimizing it. And then we use Sales Navigator. So this is where we find the people, because we know who we're going after now. We use Sales Navigator to find these people. And Sales Navigator is the premium version of LinkedIn. Let me just share my screen again, and I'll just quickly show you how it works quickly. So this is Sales Navigator. So you can build a list of leads effectively. You have to pay for this. It's £80 a month, but it's worth its weight in gold. I used to spend about I used to spend about two to £3 a month on Facebook ads to generate a similar result to what I get through Sales Navigator now, which is £80 a month. So you can obviously there's loads of filters in here, so you can build a list of leads. So just for example, one of my clients is target market is investment bankers a minute. So we could build a list of investment bankers, for example. Obviously, that's pulled up 110,000 even plus results. So we'd narrow that down as a geographical. There is industry, job title. So there's loads of filters, but because ChatGPT or whatever AI model we're using knows who our customer profile is, we can ask it what specific filters in LinkedIn Sales Navigator are best to use to find these people. And that'll give us a really good idea of what filters to use to build a beautiful, perfect list of leads. So that's a bit about Sales Navigator. Like I said, we'll go more into that in the course. Let me just stop sharing. So yeah, this is just going through, like I said, what different filters and things that we've got on there that you can optimize for. And then once we've built this list of leads, we plug that into a system, an AI system, which automates all these connections. So we've got a list in Sales Navigator. So we go for a list of about 2,000, and then we plug that into this tool, which connects with them all on an automated basis. So once it's connected, it then opens up a message sequence. So we're kind of messaging people. It's not a sales pitch at all. It's just open up a conversation. The analogy I use is it's like networking, but in the virtual world. But it's networking with the right people on an automated basis. There's nothing, you're not having to get up at 6 a.m. in the morning to sit in front of a room full of people for half a day. And yeah, I think networking generally, the old school way of networking is a pretty flawed way of generating business because it's not very time efficient. And again, you can't control who is in that room. With this, we know who we're putting our message in front of, and it's the right people. So this is just a bit maximize. This is a bit of a case study from Joe. So in his first month, he generated 3 points. His market was law, like lawyers, and he generated 1.3 mil. Well, a loan value of 1.3 in his first month of doing it, and he said, "I'll show you in a minute the actual thing that he said in my community." But he said it was stuff like 3,300 quid. I think the return on that, plus the protection that he'd not sold on top of that, and that was literally his first month of doing it. And yeah, there's a video there again. I'll not show you that now, but I'll link it below later because I can't find it at the minute. I thought this would play it, but it won't. Unless that will. No. So yeah, like I said, outreach. So this is the part where we're reaching out to people in the market. It's strategic outreach, so it's not just blanket kind of message. Do you want a mortgage? Kind of like, we just open up conversations which are specific to the psychology of that market. So it's personalized to a degree, because we know, like I said, with the first part of the process is to define the market, do the market research. So we know the pain points that we're going, that these people are experiencing. So and the world that they're in, so we can tailor that to make it personalized. And so, like I said, the initial first message is just like I use it, like I said, to generate my business. The first message I send is just literally, "Hi, I see you're in financial services. Crazy times at the minute. How's business?" There's no agenda there. There's no push. There's no sales kind of agenda there. It's just literally to evoke a response. And then when you do get a response, we kind of just lean that conversation into finding out if there is a need for the service, and if there is, getting them booked into a call. Because ultimately, everything that we're doing here is to get calls booked. There's two things that matter to the growth of your business. One is generating appointments, and the other is conducting them. So we're just focusing on purely on that, with obviously with the right people. So yeah, and like I said, we show you we've got templates and things and what's worked with other advisors as to what to use in terms of the kind of how to structure that. And then after that, once you do get responses, which I'll show you in a minute, we show you how to respond to convert that lead into a booked appointment. So the outcome is from this that we should be able to get 3 to 5 appointments booked consistently, week in, week out, specifically with your most perfect ideal client. Because it's a bit like it's a bit like a funnel in a way. So we're sending a load of connection requests. Not everybody's going to accept. We should hope that 30% do, and then the ones that do accept, we're going to send a message. Not everybody's going to reply to that message, but the ones that do, we're trying to convert those into a call. We're not going to convert all of those into a call, but the ones that do, we're pre-qualifying, we're pre-selling. So we're kind of weeding out, because I think so many firms and advisors are spending a lot of time on calls to realize that they are not the right fit for them, or they're not ready, or whatever. You're just wasting an hour to find out that they're not going to go any further with it, where we could do that all in the DMs to save you that time. So we're kind of pre-qualifying the hell out of people before you get them on a call. But the upshot of all that is that you should get 3 to 5 appointments booked consistently, week in, week out, specifically with your most perfect ideal client. And these kind of appointments, because we've taken through that process of pre-qualification and pre-selling, they should close at about 30%. And these, like I say, these aren't just your average kind of case sizes. These are big stuff. We're going specifically for the big stuff. So like 3 to 5K plus, rather than the average, which generally from the brokers I speak to, it's about 1K. So it just leads to, like I said, just working less and earning more, and having more time for the growth of your business. I think so many advisors and firms at the minute are just stuck, just dealing with what they've got coming in. They've got no time to spend on the growth of the business, and so they just end up stuck, and they don't end up getting to that next level. So this is the upshot of that is that, like I said, we're kind of just working less, having less clients, but they're more valuable clients, which gives you more time, and you can give more energy and effort into those clients, so you're providing a better service. So what we're going to do now is just quickly show you the platform where we house all this stuff. Again, bear with me, because yeah, it's new technology for me, and I'm the one who's supposed to be good at all this stuff. Just give me a sec. Hopefully you can see this, because if you can't, it's going to look a bit silly, but just hopefully you can see that. So this is HNW Deals. So this is our platform. So we've got the classroom section in here. So there's little modules, like we talked about, defining and deep selling. This is what we talked about in the first part of the process. So again, we've got the little modules in here. They're quite short and snappy. I think that's the longest one. That's like 15 minutes. So this is the next one, and we've got the ChatGPT prompts to help you identify the niche. These are quite in-depth meaty prompts. This is the thing with AI. The more detail you give it, the better the response is going to be that you get back. Then we're going to create the offer. This is based on a book by a guy called Alex Hormozy. Some of you may have heard of. It's a really good book, which I'd really recommend, called $100 Million Offers. So I've kind of fed it the book. And so this prompt kind of leans into the merits of the book and produces, say, just a marketing message, really, a succinct way of articulating what you're doing for that one specific customer profile based on the psychology of that customer profile. So then we go into LinkedIn, why we use LinkedIn, getting ChatGPT to, well, that's in the wrong order, optimize your LinkedIn profile and then get ChatGPT to review your profile and kind of suggest any changes. We've got the Sales Navigator training, which goes more into depth of how that works, which, like I say, is the premium version of LinkedIn that I showed you. The AI connector tool that we use, then crafting the message sequence, launching the campaign, and as I alluded to before, there's a message response. So once the campaign is launched, it's then a case of responding to messages, which isn't automated. Most of it is, but the bit that isn't is the responding to messages, which there's a framework behind that in terms of like a 4-step process of building a bit of rapport, identifying if there's a need for the service, and just kind of introducing the offer, just floating the offer, not selling it, because you just want to create a bit of intrigue to get people on a call to do a full fact find with them. And then, like I said, the fourth part of the process is to propose the call. And then the fourth kind of section to it is content, posting content, which leads me on to my next point, because in our community, we are doing a 7-day content challenge next week, which I can give you a free week's trial to access this. So if you comment below, then I will send you a message and ask you for your email address, or you can comment your email address, and I'll put you on the list. Basically, I'll give you access to it for free for a week, and you can go through the content challenge where I'll be posting a different piece of content every week. I'll give you some more details on that in a second, but just to show you some of the wins that we've had in here. Like Jo, she just posted earlier, she posted the first piece of video content yesterday, and she said it was a barrier for her watching herself on screen, but she received over 500 views and got an inquiry, followed up, booked a meeting for next week with a guy with 1 resi and 3 buy-to-lets. A nice little boost. So that's what she's today. Stuart's got his first sale. Joe, I mentioned him earlier, 3 fact finds completed in his first month, 1 application submitted, over 1.3 million lending. So the return was 3,300 quid plus protection. That was literally his first month of doing it. So yeah, there's people that do really well. Amanda, again, there's a video of Amanda which you can access on my YouTube as well, which she did 7 mils worth of inquiries in literally 1 month. But she's done amazing. She's been working with me for about 1.5 years now, so she's done this as well in her, where she's got 8.5 mil of open inquiries through LinkedIn currently, 1.6 mil to submit tomorrow, with 2.5 due to complete shortly. Don't feel I'm using the process to their full extent, so I'm really excited to see what happens in the next level of the program. So yeah, people get really good results from it. This is Joel, who I mentioned earlier, went from 2.5 grand to 10 grand in his first month. So yeah, let me just, I've got some information on the 7-day trial. Just trying to think where it is. Well, what I'll do is I'll post a link to it below. So if anyone's interested in that, like I said, basically what it is let me just minimize this. Yeah, so basically what it is, for the next, from Monday, which is the 11th, we'll be going through a different AI tool to help you generate content. So there's multiple different tools. A lot of people are, I think, just using ChatGPT. A lot of people aren't even using AI, but if you are, chances are you're just digging into ChatGPT, kind of pretty shallow. But there's loads of different tools. We can really dig deep and build a really good content strategy using AI, which just sharpens up your time and saves money. Because like, there's a lot of firms and advisors are paying out a lot of money per month for content, and most of it doesn't convert. So yeah, this is content that converts, and it's just produced in minutes compared to, and it's free, pretty much. Some of the tools I'll show you are, it's a little bit of like a monthly subscription to them, like 15 quid a month. One of them is, but compared to what you get out of it, it's worth its weight in gold. But yeah, if anybody's interested in that, just comment below, and I will send you more information. And if you want, like I said, check out my YouTube. That's on just HNW. It's HNWFS Deals. If you search that, there's loads of videos on there. But yeah, that's pretty much the training done, guys. But I appreciate your attention if you've stuck with me this long. And yeah, if you want to connect with me, I'm on obviously LinkedIn, just at Dan Reddish, or on Facebook at Dan Reddish. And yeah, I'll look forward to connecting with you there. Thank you for your time.